Right, here we go. Hello everyone. Welcome to Bathurst for the first time. Second time in the ACC era at SimRace South Africa. And I'm Jason Holden-Jones, of course, and I'm joined by Daniel Haynes. Welcome, Daniel.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, back to Bathurst. It was the first race we ever did in ACC. So it's like the spiritual home, if you like. Oh, we're back and watching people spin around already.
Yeah, that's right.
So we've got 15 minutes left of qualifying, and we've got Zahir Essa, who's our current pole sitter. He's 2 minutes dead, 0.1. Interestingly, pole last time out was 2 minutes dead, 0.1. So he's got a pretty good time, and he's improved recently actually, because last time I looked on the screen he was about 4/10 off pole from last time out. So he's currently matching pole position, but he's changed his car because he had a Porsche last time and he's now in the Ferrari this season. And then a bit of a Porsche train forming behind them, which we suspect the Porsche is not so great around Bathurst, but we'll see. We saw that last time out, and the fact that Bashir Jadwat had pole position last season at Bathurst in the Mercedes AMG, and he's now sort of 4/10 slower, that means that probably is the case, really. That the Porsche is a bit slower on this track.
Okay, brilliant. We do have a slight technical difficulty, so I'm going to have to leave the server and then come back in so I can get my camera app working. So I think it just needs a restart. So we're just going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Don't go away. And welcome everybody back to Bathurst. I think our technical difficulties are now sorted out, Daniel. So we can talk about this qualifying session.
Yeah, nice one. I think my level's got to go up a touch as well, according to people. Want to disappoint Wesley Ferrant in chat.
Okay.
He loves hearing the British accent, apparently. But I don't know why.
Okay, I'll turn you up slightly. Let's see how we go.
I got a new
there we
mic.
go.
Probably my pop.
Let's see how that goes.
Okay, so where we're at, we're talking Zahir Esser hasn't improved since last time we checked in 5 minutes ago, but yeah, he's matching pole position from round one of the last season when we were last here. So breaking the 2-minute barrier seems to be an impossible task. I remember these guys have been at it for nearly 40 minutes now, so not expecting too many changes from this point. Last-ditch efforts as people go around frantically trying to improve, but no doubt just trying a little bit too hard. Yes, so certainly the Porsche 911 is not as quick around Bathurst as some of the other cars. I mean, Bashir Jadwat is 0.4 off. Half a second, more than half a second off from where he was in the AMG last season. And I don't think he's lost any of his skill. So I think we can put that safely down to the car selection. So the Porsche may be hindered by about half a second on this sort of circuit, which is predominantly long straights, apart from obviously the mountain crest section, which it would be very strong in. But down Conrad Straight and down the front straight, it's obviously losing out there. So see where that comes into play during the race. Passing opportunities might be a bit more difficult for the Porsche. Just not quite having that straight line speed. Dan can still go a little louder, apparently, according to Sass.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks everybody for their comments about the audio. Keep them coming if they're not quite right. I've now turned Daniel up and I've gone a bit softer. So let's see how we go. And we'll respond to any suggestions, of course.
We've got a couple of changing cars during the season. We have got a couple of drivers that have changed. And Devon Lisher in 4th position is one of the drivers. He did the first round in the McLaren 720S and he just couldn't get on with it, apparently. So he's decided to forfeit his points from round one and he switched to the 911. Might be a bit of an inspired choice because he's in 4th place straight away in the Porsche. But obviously, yeah, he forfeits that round. So round one at Barcelona is going to be his drop round now. Any driver that changes their car mid-season basically starts afresh. So you can sort of get away with it changing on round two, but from this point onwards, not so much. Christopher Langeveld was in 2nd position last time out at Bathurst, as he's down in 9th as well. So pretty sure, was he in the? I think he was in the Lambo as well, though, wasn't he? So I don't think he's changed cars from last season. So I wonder why he's slower. To keep an eye out for him, though. Might remember the first round last season was we had a bit of a nightmare on turn one, almost on the formation lap. Actually, it wasn't even turn one; it was going off the last corner as we crossed the line. It was Zahir Esser and Christopher Langeveld got tangled up before we even crossed the line, and it allowed Bashir Jadwat to sort of run away with it. Really, he had Craig Clarsons for company in 2nd position. But it was a pretty straightforward win for Jadwat in last time out in ACC at Bathurst. Doesn't look like he's going to have it quite so easy this time, though, in the 911. Down in 5th position so far.
Yeah, another reason why the timers might be a bit slow is that we have a colder track. With only, it's about, 14 degrees. Ambient track is 16. Whereas I think last time out we were sort of about 25 or so. So that might count for the slower times.
Yeah, it might very well do. I would expect the Porsche, well, we did see it last time, didn't we? It was slower here, so you would expect it to be a touch slower. S has matched the time in the Ferrari, but yeah, obviously track conditions will make a difference. Obviously the track surface itself is set to optimum though, isn't it?
Yes, yes, at the moment it is optimum, definitely. And we have a slight breeze of about 5 kilometers an hour. Not too bad.
And to remind people, this race will start in the dark, 5 a.m. So same as last time, to mimic the real world race.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you got it.
So that'll be pretty epic. We might not have rain here this evening, but at least we've got a night race or a night start. So Leslie Oliphant's improved. He's popped up in second place, literally 2/100ths of a second behind Zyressa. So maybe there is still time to be had with 5 minutes remaining of this qualifying session. Devon Lisher also improved. He's up into third place now. So only time for maybe 2 more flyers. Everyone's still out on track.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit done changing audio levels now, so hopefully that fits everyone's needs for this evening. But please, if you're not happy, I'll still continue to change them. So we're just over, what, 4 minutes remaining now, 9:40 a.m. on the server, as it were, in game. And just looking at the times, it's quite tight at front, 4:10 centimeters for the top 3. Quay Claessens this evening has changed to the Porsche from the Aston Martin V12, Daniel. You will not like that, but that's what's happened. And as I mentioned, Claessens there moves up into 4th position.
Can't we dock him some points? Extra points, I think, docked for that one, Quay Claessens, because we had an agreement, and I think he's broken it, so... Yeah, 10-place grid penalty for choosing a generic car.
We can do whatever we like. Let's see. Lano Clue, our single-seater specialist there, up in 6th position, going strong. Mark van Rensburg, of course, winner of the Division 2 race in simGT last week in 7th. And Langeveld there down in 9th position. You won't like that. So Steyn would like to be a bit further up too, of course. And then we got the overall South African simGT Drivers Champion, Nick Hodgson, in 10th position. There is now the big Bentley for Point Blank Racing in the 101. And yeah, just over 2.5 minutes remaining now. And this is where everyone will be pushing as hard as they can. The track in optimum conditions. Can Nick Hodgson improve from 10th position? It's still very close to the front as Leslie Oliphant goes to provisional pole position. It's into the pits at the moment for Patterson Works Racing, so that's a big surprise. Essa in the Ferrari. Yeah, he's just half a tenth behind him. And can Judd Watt respond? Where's Judd Watt? He's coming down Conrad Straight now in the 80k Porsche in the 83. We can't see delta times, Kunos. Please, you need to rectify that sometime. Really sport with that in Assetto Corsa. Here comes Judd Watt. Can he improve? Yes, he can, but he can't. Doesn't improve position though. But just over a tenth of a second behind Essa, and 2/10 behind Leslie Oliphant. So Oliphant, the big surprise here. Oliphant's been threatening for a pole position start for a long time now. Can this be his time?
He's almost broken the 2-minute barrier. It seems to be a psychological barrier. Can someone get under 2 minutes? That's not going to do it at the moment. If you can actually see Delta if you change to the basic HUD, but I can obviously do that off camera. So okay. S is bailed out and is not going to have time to go around again. So he is finished. So second place is as best as he's going to do. Devon Lish is up on his Delta though. He's a 10th up. He's just lost a little bit up the chicane at the Conrad Straights.
He needs 2/10 to take it to Judd Watt though.
He's not going to do it. He's coming around the final corner. He's absolutely level on his Delta. Now he's going to do an identical time. Literally 0-0. Yeah, it's pulled over. But he was a 10th and a half up. So he had it in him maybe to jump a position. But that's his last. Lionel Clue is now coming around the final corner. Also level on his Delta. slight improvement, I believe, but he'll stay in 7th. So who else we got? Christopher Langeveld is on track going up the mountain section, and he is absolutely bang level on his delta as well. Oh, and he's hit the wall, so that's not going to help him at all. Yeah, that's finished for Christopher Langeveld, I think.
Oh, sideways.
Kieran Patterson's still on track, and he's a 10th up. So Alicia must have carried on because he's still out on circuit, but I don't think he's got a chance of doing another lap, so all he's really achieving is holding people up here, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Kieran Patterson's coming up behind him and is on a flyer and is nearly 3/10 up on his delta. And he's just lost it.
He's lost it, yeah.
In the dipper, yeah. I think that's everyone everyone done and dusted, really. Just going through anyone else on circuit. Nick Hodgson's still out there, but is not improving.
I'm just surprised to see the drivers not out. There's still another minute and 40 seconds remaining.
Peter Geldenez is the only guy out on track. He's finding himself down in 36th position, but he's 3/10 up on his delta at the moment, so he's definitely going to improve, I would have thought. Should gain him a few places if he can keep it up. Yeah, he's still 3/10 up as he comes into the final corner. Difficult last corner, but he's actually gained through it. He's up 4/10 now. So he gets up into 34th position, is it? Yes, so he's improved a couple of spots. I think that's everyone across the line.
Well, so Leslie Oliphant will start from pole position this evening. We are going to take a short break. Don't go away. And thanks for your audio comments. I'm going to make a few changes now. Hopefully it's set for the rest. See you guys now. Welcome back to Mount Panorama, and we're 20 seconds away from the start of the formation lap. And as promised, we're starting in the dark. It's 5 o'clock in the morning on the server, just as Daniel mentioned before, just like the real 12-hour event. And hopefully my voice is not distorting anymore.
I'm sure we'll find out from chat.
Yeah.
But, yeah, looks great in the dark, doesn't it? ACC, lights on. Everyone's ready. Formation lap. Obviously, we've been having standing starts the last couple of rounds in Sim Race South Africa, but this is an enduro race for all effective purposes. So, full formation lap. Obviously, a long formation lap here at Bathurst. It's going to keep people busy, nerves rising. Oliphant had a great last-ditch pole position because Esther was leading the session pretty much the entire time, 45-minute session, but quite a lot of guys improving right at the end, so track improving a bit. As the session went on. And yeah, best efforts were towards the end. Bashir Jadvat improved as well to get back up into 3rd place. But there we got Leslie Oliphant in a Porsche in pole position, so it can be done.
And this is where Assetto Corsa Competizione looks absolutely gorgeous at night. Stunning lighting effects. And the drivers now just getting themselves psyched up and ready for the start of this race. The start oh so important here. Not to be involved in an incident. And of course we've got that tricky trip across the mountain on cold tires and brakes. Or the car's limited now to 90 kilometers an hour on this formation lap. They will stay in single file until they cross the start finish line.
Hopefully we can get a clean start. No copies of last season's race, but these guys now have done quite a few sessions in ACC, so I don't expect that to happen whatsoever. So just concluding the mountain section in the dark as they come down Conrod Straight. The slowest they'll be coming down this straight all evening, that's for sure. Quickest circuit on the calendar is Bathurst down this straight. It's got a chicane added to it just to slow them down because they were starting to take off on that hump. So the circuit added a chicane here at the end of the Conrod to slow them down. Didn't slow them down that much though, because they were pretty much hitting the similar top speeds not so long later.
About to be 9 degrees ambient, 9 degrees track temperature. And the drivers...
looks like it's going to be dry for a while. We've got sun on the radar. So I don't think they're going to have any weather stopping this. So it's down to pure pace from these guys as Oliphant comes down to the final corner. Backs up the field. And he's gone now. He's keeping it light. He's keeping it right to the line.
Green light, go, go, go.
Here we go. They're off. Oliphant in first position, all nice and safely this time around. Esser tucked in behind in second. Jadwat, Lisher and Claessens. Jadwat and Claessens were the front two runners last time out, so we'll be keeping a keen eye on those two to see whether they can carry on with that run that they had, but it's already getting cars side by side. Lisher and Claessens are side by side as they come up mountain straight. Not seeing any damage anywhere or everyone very, very cleanly through the mountain section. Just what we like to see. No one wants a roadblock on lap one. Has happened in the past, but not this time round. Oliphant's had a flying start though. He's already putting a bit of a gap between him and Esser. Got Stern off on the grass as he goes round for the dipper, so he would have lost places. No other major changes from our leaders from what I can tell. All looks to be pretty much in formation. Some great sparks coming off of Oliphant's 911 in first place. Hopefully that'll give guys a little bit more of a sound bump on the cars. Let us know.
Okay, so the opening lap is done. Oliphant's still leading. That gap up to half a second. It's starting to edge away from Esna's Oliphant. Jadwat looking there dangerous. Daniel in third position. And he can see Oliphant starting to move away. So Jadwat will want to get on with this now. But Essa is not an easy person to pass, no doubt, especially across the mountain.
Yeah, I don't think any Porsche is going to be easy to pass up the mountain section as well. Super, super strong through that section. This is a Ferrari and a Porsche sandwich right now. It's commonly believed in ACC that the Porsche 911 is the strongest car, the fastest car in testing. I've got a bit of a chart that I've been given by one of our drivers that sort of shows average times on each circuit in the game, and it is true that Bathurst is its toughest track as far as how competitive it is, but it is still competitive. So 911 is pretty much competitive on every circuit. Some other cars struggle quite a lot more, specifically the BMW, and it's no surprise we don't see any BMWs in the field this evening from what I gather. That's just down on everywhere. But the 911 is a very, very quick car in general in Assetto Corsa, so it's no surprise that it's been chosen by a lot of drivers, and they're doing well with it as well. So wouldn't be surprised if it gets a bit of a BOP change in coming patches, but that's the situation we have right at the moment. Oliphant's getting a bit of pressure under S. S is putting a bit of pressure on Oliphant now. Got the gap down to 0.3 from half a second, so certainly not running away with it completely. Race pace will be very, very different, I think, from qualifying. But Jadwat's not going anywhere either, is he? He's tucked up behind Essa as they cross the start-finish line.
Yeah, watching now, Kluna is coming under sustained pressure from Devon Lisher. Lisher diving left and right, trying to unsettle Klub. That didn't work at all. He's going to have to try again now. As we're on the run now to turn 2.
Yeah, Jadwat within 1/10 of Essa now. But it's going to be very hard to pass in the mountain section. So we've got some stunning liveries on display. Obviously it's night time at the moment, so we're not seeing the best of them, but when the daylight comes through we'll have to point a few of our favourites out. But Lionel Cruz looks very bright even in the dark, so I'm looking forward to seeing that in the daylight. But yeah, really, really good that we've managed to get pretty much a full grid of custom liveries. Got some Amrish is off in the background. And I think Kieran Paston was involved with that as well. Let's rejoin the track. No, he's off again, and he's parked in a very awkward position. Is Amrish in 11th position, or he was on our timing screens, but he's certainly not in 11th now. He's managed to rejoin safely, so well done to him.
Yeah. Did very well then at very difficult circumstances, but off goes Amrish again in the 155 Mercedes-Benz.
Very easy to just block the circuit on that mountain section when you spin, so he didn't really take too many. I think Kieran Patterson might have been involved a little bit back there. One of the Patterson guys was certainly involved with him at one point.
On board now with Oliphant, our race leader, looking back at Essa, and Essa's got that front of that Ferrari almost under the rear wing of Oliphant's Porsche through turn 1. Up mountain straight
this
now.
Is good racing at the start, isn't it? No one's running away with this whatsoever. These front three are sort of going off in their own little pack. Craig Clarson's has struggled to keep with them. Be desperate to stay in the slipstream and join the pack. Once you drop off the back, it's hard to get back there. Oliphant pulls away. As soon as he gets up to the mountain section, he pulls away, and then Jadwat is piling the pressure on Essa. So the Porsche is just so quick through that mountain section. And I think the Ferrari has got it everywhere else. Different way of gaining time between these two cars. And you watch Essa start to claw this back. By the time they finish the mountain straight, he'll be right up the back of Oliphant. Already, that half second is not half second anymore. We haven't got a live delta with ACC, but Essa is straight up the back behind that Porsche. So totally different ways that these two cars gain their lap time. But I think S is going to have the easier job in passing, because any mistake on the mountain section, and Oliphant's going to be a bit of a sit and duck down the Conrod Straight is my feeling. Putting it out there.
Great
We've got back markers already, so they will play a part as this race progresses, but already the leaders have lapped a back marker. Just starting to crack a little bit of daylight from the pitch black darkness, so we can start seeing a bit of a transition as we go through. You see real world progression in sim is ×3, I believe. So yeah, we're 5:45 already in the morning.
Jadwat really putting pressure on Essa. A good run on him now, and he needs to get as close as possible before Conrad Straight. What about the drive out of here? And I think Jadwat's got it on Essa. Yes, he's right with him.
He has, but I don't think he's going to be able to pass, because Essa's just so damn quick down the Conrad Straight and the mountain straight. Porsche just doesn't seem to, even in the slipstream. But yeah, and he really is close, isn't he, Jadwat? I think he's going to be frustrated for quite a while, because he's not going to be able to make a pass on the two straights in the 911, I don't believe. But the 911 just owns the mountain. Marcus Stain's having a good race as well in the Ferrari in 5th position. I think he started, was it 7th? I saw him 7th, so he's gained a few places. Devon Lish has dropped back.
You're watching Nicholas Hodgson under pressure now from Mark van Rensburg. That's over 8th position. Good fight there.
And Bentley looks good in black and red as well, doesn't it?
Jadwat's
point blank racing.
Fallen back from Essa slightly. Not too bad though, actually. Let's go and have a look at Christopher Langeveld. Langeveld I cannot select, unfortunately. He seems to have a problem, does Christopher?
I think he must have dropped, because I can't select him either. So we may have lost Christopher Langeveld, or he's off of us anyway. Very close running between quite a lot of drivers. We've got Kieran Patterson right up the back of Lawrence Stern, fighting over 13th position or 12th position.
And these three very close together.
Yeah, really tight between these three in Heineke, Stern and Patterson.
The sparks fly up there from Kieran Patterson's Ferrari. Just dragging the diffuser over the bump.
Yeah, could not get closer between these three as they go down the Conrad Straight.
The Nissan will just extend its margin over there, down the straight.
Yeah, Patterson might be making a move here on Lawrence Stern though, so it's coming up side by side, Ferrari versus Ferrari. He's got the inside line as they come through the kink.
Oh, as Heineke's run wide.
Stern's gone onto the grass. He's coming across.
Contact!
And he's pushed into the wall. That was sort of inevitable, really. Yeah, Stern's come off the worst there. He's still not rejoined. He's running away safely until he can rejoin. Very difficult when you're facing the wrong way, though. And you got
also not to get a penalty when you're going the wrong way along circuits.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of places being very good and patient to rejoin.
Yeah, he's done quite well actually. He's very, very tricky there, Daniel. Yo.
Very tricky. He spun completely round and was just facing the wrong direction. So he's dropped from, what was he, 10th place all the way down to 22nd? Yeah, 22nd position. So 23rd even. Big loss there for Lawrence Stern. See whether he can recover later on. Oliphant's just managed to, I say pull a gap. You would never really call half a second a gap, but it looks big compared to what we've seen previously. But Jadwal is hounding the back of Vettel's Ferrari. Track temperatures just starting to creep up as we hit 10 degrees and the sun coming out. They will change quite drastically as the race progresses. Obviously still only 6 o'clock in the morning here in Bathurst. I think it's just Jadwal's going to have real difficulty passing in the places where you would usually pass, like we saw Kieran Patterson tow a run down Conrod Straight. Just that doesn't look like it's a possibility between these two cars.
Yeah, the Ferrari just seems to get away from the Porsche down the straights without a problem, really.
Yeah, and once S has done it a few laps, you just become comfortable knowing, well, as long as I get a great exit, I can hold him up on the mountain, doesn't matter so much. Make sure I get a good exit onto Conrad, and he's not going to be able to make a move. You start to see where to defend the longer you're there, and where it's successful. And you see, but after the 2 straights, as we come up Mountain Straight, S pulls a gap, and Jadwal will claw it all the way back through the mountain pass. So Mount Panorama working very differently between these two cars.
Oh, and Kieran Patterson's driven into the back of Heineke. Heineke got it wrong. Exiting that first corner, and Patterson had nowhere to go really, and into the side of the Nissan. That's spun Heineke around, and he's
also
dropped right back.
In returning, yeah. Almost collected Isherwood there.
And Oliphant's falling back towards Essa. I think he made a slight mistake.
There's a to and froing between these 3 cars, isn't there? We're too scared to leave them because we can't see when an instant pass is made. We don't want to miss it, but inevitably we could sit and watch these guys for 90 minutes and they go around in 3, all in the same positions because they're that good at drivers. One mistake from one of these cars is going to cost them. S is at first, this is as close as S has been to Oliphant. He's really looking up the inside as they've completed the Conrad Straight.
Essa will be encouraged by that.
The condition of tyres makes such an important factor into lap time in ACC. Pressures and temperatures vital to gaining your lap time. As the track temperature changes, we may see cars come and go in how they generate their lap time. So as cars get into their window at different times of the race, especially with different track conditions, we could definitely see fastest drivers change. This seems to be a little bit more comfortable this last couple of laps. But these 3 drivers have dropped the main field. Craig Clarkson has not been able to hang on to the back of them. 6 seconds back from Bashir Jadwal is Craig Clarkson's in 4th place. Still a great drive, but these 3 at the front are in a bit of a league of their own this evening.
Oh, as Oliphant hits the wall on the inside. Hopefully it's not too much damage there for Oliphant. Just picked that up. They were through Quarry Corner, I think that was, turn 6.
Jadwat looks mental through the mountain pass there, doesn't he? Super, super quick.
I think his tire pressures now have come up to optimum. But perhaps the Porsches don't have the right tire pressures right now for the temperature. The track temp's gone up to 10 degrees. So still very cold. But that might be absolutely optimum for Essa because it's certainly looking dangerous now.
Just each driver looks more dangerous in different sections of the track, don't they? But yeah, S is going up the inside of Oliphant here. Down the Conrod. He's going to have it with a Ferrari. It's easy pass in the end. It's a great pass from Zahir Essa, and I think that he's not going to be under pressure up the mountain straight either. Come through Murray's corner now. Yeah, so Essa's just suddenly switched it on, wasn't he? He struggled in the first few laps of this race. Tyres are in the window now. He's dropped a bit of fuel, comes round through Hell's Corner, and I think he's going to go into the mountain section with a little bit of a cushion. We'll see now whether he can pull away from the Porsche outside the slipstream or whether he was using the slipstream to his advantage. Oliphant doesn't look like he's dropping back at all. Now this is where the Porsche is going to struggle if they in the mountain section are quicker, which they certainly look like they are. It's not like you can pull a pass there. No way you're getting past Zahir Essa through the mountain pass without a bit of an accident forming. So I don't think these cars are going to have trouble following the Ferrari through here, but it's just you can't do anything about it. And as long as Essa gets a good exit onto the Conrod, it'll be job done for him.
Oliphant hits the wall again there, outside of turn 8, runs wide again. Yeah, Oliphant's struggling. Yeah, Oliphant's struggling. Just concerning that the Porsches, even in the slipstream, can't really take it to the Ferrari. So I think S is looking very good at the moment.
Very, very difficult corner as we go onto Conrod. That's such a hard one to get right. Forest elbow. Big elevation change as you drop down there. And got to try and get on the power really, really early. But if you get on too early, then the ball is not far away. But yeah, S has had a brilliant couple of laps, has to be said. Made the pass on Oliphant, and he's making it stick now. 6/10 clear. He's super, super quick down Conrod, though, isn't he? That Ferrari's certainly got better top speed.
Of course, this is working perfectly for Essa. Not only is he in the front, the two Porsches behind him are going to start battling it out. And I think we're going to see Essa moving away now. Jadwat looking quicker than Oliphant at this earlier stage. But yeah, Oliphant's a very good defensive driver too, of course. Runs wide again there. This should allow Jadwat a run on him.
Essa won't mind this at all. He'd much rather have the Porsches fighting out between themselves, and he's got clear track in front of him now. Oliphant has to start driving defensively. All that's going to do is let Essa drive away with it. Oh, he's super quick, Jadwat. Is he coming up the inside? He's looking like he's seeing the inside line. He's thought better of it. Let's go through the cutting.
Oh, Jadwat hits the wall too.
Close to the wall there, yeah. Sponsors won't be happy. Half their logos will be missing at the end of this race if they keep rubbing against the wall like that on each lap. Oliphant's super close to the wall there as well.
We're seeing Brent Lindsay-Ray now is in a good battle there in 14th position, just a 10th behind Henry Roux. Pulls out, goes for the inside line, always contact. But they run side by side, rubbing is racing, nothing wrong with that. And Lindsay-Ray up into 13th. Henry Roux now under pressure from Jan Spammers.
A tight little bundle this, isn't it, with Henry Roux, Jan Spammers, Barry Mayer and Edwin Govender. All fighting it out between, what are we looking at, 14th place down to 18th, 14th to 17th positions. It's quite difficult because actually on our director screen we've still got Christopher Langeveld there.
Yeah. We got Jan Spammers in the mix there. Barry Mayer then 16th too in the pink Porsche for Black Widow Racing. And big train forming here now. We've got 4 or 5 cars involved. Jan Spammers now having a look at Henry Roux. Roux's got a lot of damage on that Audi, doesn't he? Oh, Edwin Cover into the wall. It's got turnaround there. Was it by Mark Hennebury?
Everyone that spins around is having a hard time rejoining the track safely. Governor's exactly the same position as well. He did well to rejoin there. Oh, and he's gone a bit too far. He needs to donut back onto circuit.
And Spammers there finds his way past Barry Mayer. Spammers now up into 14th. We've got a huge fight behind them as well. Nardis Fick there, leading the AM class in this race.
We've got a few drivers that have already pitted. So Heineke's pitted. First driver to pit in 25th position. So it's coming early for pit stops. They've been affected by damage at all or just not quite there, but yeah, a few drivers have already been through the pits.
Watching Leon Leroux now in the 721 Black Widow Racing Aston Martin, currently in 20th, trying to chase on Donnie Miller. Neil Berger in 30th in the Porsche. And Raymond Duggan's got a stop-go 30-second penalty. That's normally for track limits, I think that is.
Well, I just saw him in the pits actually, so he might be speeding in the pit lane or something wrong with the pit lane because he definitely just went through the pits shortly.
The possibility, yeah. Demon Sparks having a difficult race in the SRC McLaren down in 34th position. And he's got, who's in front of him? Raymond Duggan, I think that is, yes, in the 33. In the 71, I beg your pardon, in 33rd position. Back to the front now, Zahis has got a good 4-second gap back to Bashir Jadwan. Jadwan's got Oliphant, so unfortunately we missed that pass while we're looking down, further down the order. That's always the tricky part about moving away from a battle.
Yeah, Oliphant was just struggling a little bit, wasn't he? He was just going a little bit wide. He was understeering into the walls up the mountain section. His car's looking a bit scratched up both sides, has to be said. So he did everything he could to keep those two cars behind him, and it's just not worked for him in this phase of the race, at least. Certainly know he's got the speed though. So when track temperatures change or he gets on a new set of tyres, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Essa. He did look like he was struggling a little bit in the first few laps, more defending from Jadwat than trying to put a past an Oliphant, but suddenly he got that Ferrari switched on. And yeah, once he got track position, the consistency that he's known for really coming through.
I've got that scene from the Fast and the Furious movie, the Too Soon Junior. I could just see Zayas saying that while he's racing in the first couple of laps, and then Too Soon Junior, and then he just nails it and opens up the gap.
Yeah. Plus, he's had a few sim upgrades recently,
Yes.
so that's not what we wanted. But he's got himself a rig. Well, he won himself a rig. He's got himself a new computer, so he's got decent frames and he's got some fancy pedals. So I fear the worst for other drivers in Zahir Essa for the remainder of this season. But he didn't win the first round, did he? Bashir Jadwat had the first round. Still very, very close in the championship, even if it finishes this way. Jadwat looking good in the podium places, at least. Craig Clarson's is also manages to claw the gap back. So the front three are running in their own little pack. But Oliphant's dropping back now into the clutches of Clarson's. So he hasn't got much time to give back before he's going to be under pressure again from another Porsche. Interesting chat of what equipment S is actually using. I think anything he buys, everyone will run out and get. But there is a local South African guy making some very, very nice load cell pedals, out electrical, and been quite popular with quite a few drivers in the series. And I can highly recommend him because I bought some stuff from him as well, some shifter and a handbrake. But if you're looking for a local product, then you can get the details in Discord, I'm sure. But yeah, he's making a bit of a name for himself because when I chatted to him last week, he was even exporting some of his shifters to Italy. So he's getting international orders. But he's a local boy, so support local. And you can see they work well because S is using them to great ability this evening. Getting 7 seconds over Jadwat in very, very little time when he's got clear track position. Track temperatures increased again. We're at 11 degrees now as the sun starts to rise here at Mount Panorama, 6:46 a.m.
There's the Oliphant's right back with Bashir Jadwat. So Oliphant again clips the wall. This goes to show how hard he is actually pushing.
Yeah, I don't think you want to be doing that too often, eh? But he really is using track limits on this mountain section. Very, very risky with the walls.
Craig Clarson's now edging towards the Jadwat Oliphant battle. And Marcus Stan having a good race in 5th position, just staying out of trouble. He's 4 seconds behind Clarson's.
Lionel Clue's also doing very, very well. He did superbly well in the GP race, Division 1 race, at Okayama in the week. So he's certainly making a bit of a name for himself in Sim Race South Africa. Is Lionel Clue up here again in Division 1 in GT3 in 6th position. And he's got a pretty bright livery, has to be said. Now the sun's coming up, we can start to admire some of these liveries. He's got Mark van Rensburg for company behind him, though, in a very mean-looking Lamborghini.
On board with the Lamborghini of Mark van Rensburg now, the big wailing of the V10. Chasing down the V8 Mercedes-Benz as van Rensburg gets all crossed up. But nevertheless keeps it pointing in the right direction as the Mercedes-Benz scampers away.
The definition's gone a bit backwards, hasn't he, from his qualifying position. Find himself down in 9th and under some bit of pressure from Duels now. So yeah, he's only unfortunately in race pace just gone a little bit off his qualifying pace, defending places rather than gaining them. I really wish ACC would update their broadcasting software because Christopher Langeveld needs to come off my list, unfortunately. I keep clicking on him. Quite frustrating. Got two 12th places as far as admin goes, but
Peter Kelvin is now down in 26th position for SRC. Having a challenging race this evening. All by his lonesome.
we got some car parked. Valerio, number 36. He's literally blocking the road on the mountain section.
Okay, let's see.
This could be... Yeah, he's taken out Lindsay Ray, unfortunately, trying to rejoin. He's literally stuck across the road in the mountain section.
Okay. Let's see.
And he's struggling to rejoin safely. There's so many cars. Spammers has hit the wall. He's just, unfortunately, got Mulder as well. So, yeah, quite a few cars playing foul to that. It's very difficult if you spin on that mountain section. You find yourself literally across the track.
Which driver is that, Daniel? I didn't quite get
It's car number 36.
36.
Valerio
Okay.
Antonucci.
Yeah. Okay, it's got going again.
He's got going again. He's got
Severe
major
damage.
damage to that Ferrari, and he's bouncing across all the walls. But yeah, he took out 4 or 5 cars, unfortunately, in the mountain section. He was literally parked for half of it. Didn't know a lot about it, but yeah, he obviously span.
He destroys the styrofoam signs on the side of the road.
Yeah, anyone using those for brake marks is going to be very upset with him. When a styrofoam board goes missing and it was your brake marker, that can throw you off big time. I'm thinking he's coming into the pits because he can barely keep it in a straight line. Very, very wounded Ferrari. As he does indeed head into the pits for a repair. Adrian Govender just popped over on 28th position and finds himself parked on the side of the circuit as well. And I think he might have left the server.
It does seem that way.
So we've lost Adrian Govender, unfortunately. Going to be a few retirements this evening. That's sort of the nature of Mountain Panorama. It takes its prisoners. If you hit the wall more than a few times or at speed, then yeah, it's curtains, I'm afraid, quite often.
Here we got 10 minutes to the halfway stage of this race. And so the drivers will start thinking about pit stops. At least, of course, every driver must do at least one pit stop. And you can see who's done a pit stop or not by looking at their race car number on the left, on the tower towards the left. And that if you look at ESSA, next to 171 is the 1 in the brown rectangle, as it were. And when that turns green, like we see for Devout Null, that means that mandatory pit stop has been done. As we see Barry Main to the wall. It does recover, but damage to that Porsche. Glassen's really reeling in Oliphant now to challenge him for 3rd position. And Oliphant's got traffic now. He's running the Aston Martins.
So I've got a bit of a track sort of times that have been given to me by one of our drivers, and it's the sort of internal testing that was used at one of the setup academies for ACC, okay. Where they do optimum setups for every car. And interestingly, the Audi and the Mercedes are the 2 fastest cars that have gone round Bathurst. They are into the 159s on a perfect lap, but we haven't got anyone. We've got Lionel Clue in the AMG in 6th place. Might explain why he's doing so well. Obviously, Jadrat won quite comfortably in the AMG last time out. But yeah, no one in those vehicles. The first Audi is here. Hugo de Witt in 14th position. No, he's up to 12th now. He's just jumped up on the screens over a sector. We also saw the Bentley doing quite well, didn't we, last time out in Mark van Rensburg? But Nick Hodgson's the first Bentley here. So it is interesting just looking at the chart of times, which cars are comfortable around here and which are struggling.
Yeah, we saw the Bentley very strong at Spa, of course. That when Van Rensburg that race.
Yeah, and this is the worst track for the Porsche, bar Spa. Spa is the worst track, and we did see that, didn't we? We saw it struggle at Spa. But yeah, here and Spa are the two worst circuits for the Porsche on all the circuits available in ACC at the moment. Very, very strong overall car, though, it has to be said. Audi also very strong. It's surprising we haven't seen more Audis on circuits. Very, very strong vehicle according to the overall times. McLaren and the BMW are the two most hated cars, unfortunately, because we've seen a couple of guys drop the McLaren and no one take the BMW. Yeah, obviously these times are down to one driver, so I think this is David Perel's times actually that I'm looking at the moment on this spreadsheet. So different drivers, if they just don't get on with the driving mechanics of the vehicle or the way it drives for their driving style, that's not necessary. It's not a hard and fast rule that everyone must take a certain vehicle, but it is just interesting to see, at least from David Perel's testing on his Dave Academy, how each car compares from their point of view. And certainly the Porsche is very, very strong.
Judd Watt puts the move on Oliphant. Good stuff. And good drive.
Gets him up the mountain
out of
straight.
Hell corner, yeah. Got that around the outside of Griffin's Bend.
This Oliphant's going a bit backwards now. He's certainly struggling as this sort of phase goes through. Wonder whether all his taps on the wall haven't actually given him a little bit of damage, to be honest.
Beg your pardon, there was in fact Claessens who put the move in Oliphant. Got my ATK Porsches mixed up because of course Quaid swapped to the Porsche for this race. He raced the Aston Martin V12 beforehand.
I don't think that should be allowed. I think if you pick the V12, you must have it for life. Him and Brandon Rat should still be in it. I'll be having words with Quaid Claessens at the end of this race. I really will. I'm very upset with him. Marcus Staines doing great, though, isn't he? Up into 5th position. Not seen too much of him so far, but he's doing strong. So we've certainly lost a few cars, haven't we, throughout this race? I can't see whether we can see how many retirements we've had.
Here we go towards the bottom of the tower. It's not really clear, is it? I see Alan Patterson, he's in the pits, he's 14 laps down.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many cars we started with. I'm showing 37 now, but Brent Alexander, unfortunately, has also left the server. So, 35th position. I think Alan Patterson, who's in the pits, is our last driver. So I can't remember how many we started, but certainly we seem to have quite a few casualties here. We've got 2 other divisions in GT3. I think we've got two more divisions on Wednesday, so the amount of sign-ups is very, very encouraging. If you want to join, you're more than welcome to still sign up. We're only round 2 of this season.
Oh,
Plenty of space is still available.
That is car turned around there. I think that is Craig Claassens. Just try to get back to him.
Yeah, Claassens is. He's parked on the mountain section. Oh, and he's just been hit by Hodgson and flipped round, actually, by Hodgson. Hodgson helped him out there. Didn't seem to damage himself too much, but that got Craig Claassen facing the right way, at least. Brent Lindsay Ray's just gone past me, looking very damaged as well. Whereabouts is Brent Lindsay Ray? 25th position. He's maybe been held up or hit Claassens or something involved there, because his bonnet's up on his Audi. He's running down the grass trying to stay out of everybody's way, which he's doing. But he's heading for the pits. It's Brent Lindsay Ray. See, if he was in an Aston Martin now, that might not have happened. Shame. He's littered the Conrod Straight with advertising boards.
So here is into the pits, our race leader. And Jadwat and Steen van Rensburg all stayed out. Oliver van Osse into the pits, so is Claassens. As expected for Claassens after that damage he sustained.
Mass is just leaving the pits now.
Does he rejoin in traffic now?
So he's going to come in. Is he going to come out in front of Oliphant? No, surely not. Berger is just behind.
Just clears Berger. That was vital.
Dobbs know exactly where he is until the sector times refresh. Showing 5th at the moment is Zairessa. Probably about right, to be fair. So he rejoined the circuit in front of Berger, who is a back marker.
Jadwat and Steen stayed out. So did Van Rensburg and Hodgson.
Because Oliphant pitted, that's why he is still behind Esser. So yeah, Jadwat now want to try and make a push. Then the gap was quite substantial when I didn't take note of the gap of Esser when he came into pits from Jadwat. But it was a good 5 to 7 seconds, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was around about 8. In comes Jadwat now. Where's Esser?
He's still going through the mountain section.
We are at the halfway mark.
Just coming onto Conrad now.
Marcus Steiner stayed out, so he should assume the lead for now.
Fresh tyres will certainly mean a lot to Esser, though. It's not going to... I can't see this affecting him whatsoever. Jadwat at the end of the pit lane. It's currently being refueled. As Esser comes through the chase in the final chicane and into Murray's corner. Coming across the finishing line now. Jadwat still in the pits. Yeah, Esser's got a Hell's Corner and he is past the pit entrance. So I think he's gained even more. Jadwat's just leaving the pits now. I think Esser's gained even more with pitting earlier on fresh tyres, and he's almost at the end of the mountain straight, sorry. So a whole straight ahead is Esser, effectively in first position as we wait for Marcus Steen, Mark van Rensburg to pit, and Nick Hodgson also to pit, but he is in the pits right now. So Steen and Mark van Rensburg still to pit. Past halfway point of this race now, and expect probably both of these drivers to pile into the pits.
Yeah, this has worked out beautifully for Esser. No traffic, clean air. You can just concentrate on nailing those laps while the other drivers do their pit stops.
practicing with us. Yeah, Stain comes into the pit, Mark van Rensburg into the pit. So that's the last of our front runners into the pit. Zaire will regain first place in this race and put his head down in his second stint to try and stretch that gap. But he's 15 seconds to Bashir Jadwat now. 15 seconds. So he can start managing his tyres a little bit, can Zaire. Doesn't need to push so heavily on the mountain pass. Certainly don't want to be touching a wall, that's for sure. And Lionel Clue elevated into effectively third position. Oh, he's just hit the wall, hasn't he?
As you mentioned him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the exit you want. That's what I mean about really, really pushing to get onto the Conrad straight as quick as you can. You just understeer off into that wall. Do the absolute opposite. And scratch up your lively livery. I think he still is effectively...
I think Lionel Clue is racing Mark van Rensburg as van Rensburg just leaves the pits now. There should be a crash between him and Clue.
I saw Marcus Stain take to the pit lane entrance, and then he is still showing in first position going round. So did he bail out the pit stop?
He must have.
He literally went down the pit lane entrance, watched him with Mark van Rensburg following him, and then bailed out. So I'm not quite sure what's happened to Marcus Stain. Might wanted a couple of extra laps of glory running in first place, but
yeah, he's showing as out on my app side of things. So I'm not quite sure what's happened there. We kind of done a pit stop because he's still in the front, so...
No, he either just drove straight through and missed his box, and then it didn't classify as a pit stop, because I actually watched him drive down pit entrance. So I have no idea what's happened to Marcus Stain, but he's still out in first position, but he hasn't done a pit stop. I think he might have gone either through pit lane or he bailed out. We've got Swanepoel spinning off in the background. But I think
Stain is slow. He's running out of fuel.
Yeah, I think he went through the pit lane and didn't stop. Because now he's doing exactly what I saw him deja vu last lap round. He's going down pit entry. But this time, hopefully, he manages to actually do a pit stop. So that's a disaster for Marcus Stain.
He's just going to make it, is he?
Run out of fuel. Is he going to make it? It's uphill, this pit lane.
It depends on where his pit box is.
Yeah, where did he qualify? The other end, mate.
No, he's got it, I think. Just made it.
I think he drove straight past his pit box. I reckon he come through into the pit lane, missed his pit box, which was only 3 or 4 pit boxes from the start, and then had to do a whole nother lap almost on tick over. So a bit of a disaster for Marcus Stain. So he's our last runner pitting again, if you like. He's going to come out probably 7th or 8th position, I would have thought, roughly. Hugo de Witt still to pit as well in 9th place.
Watching Chris Heineke and Nardis Fick over 13th position. Nardis Fick leading the AM class in this race. The AM class is for drivers in their first season at SimRace South Africa. The Fick and Aston Martin doing a fantastic job. They're holding off the big Nissan GTR.
He's got Leslie Oliphant. He's a bit of a loser from where he starts, isn't he? Because he's got Mark van Rensburg and Lionel Clue ahead of him as well now. He would have had Craig Claessens if he... we don't know quite what happened to Craig, but yeah, Oliphant's gone backwards in race trim compared to qualifying trim, hasn't he? During the pit stops, I assume he would have had an opportunity to repair his car. certainly it looks a hell of a lot cleaner than last time I saw it. Running in 5th position.
Heineke just obeying blue flags there, letting, I think that was Van Redsburg past the Lamborghini. Big slide there for Heineke. Oh, he keeps it off the wall. But yeah, not as fixed, driven away from him, hasn't he?
Fix Aston Martin looks like it's had a bit of a shunt up the front though, so I don't think he's going around without any damage.
Hugo de Wit in 8th position at the moment, but he's yet to do a pit stop.
Yeah, going very, very long in this race. 37 minutes remaining. Is Hugo de Wit. He's filled that Audi to the brim, I believe. He goes past again. Happy to do another lap. Maybe he's got a fuel cell on board. It's a hybrid.
Look at Jason Isherwood in the neon coloured Aston Martin in 12th position. And he is just past Lisha in the pits, I think. No, it's now on Lisha in the pits, yes, that's right. So Isherwood having a good race there in 12th position. In his 2nd season at SimRace South Africa. Moving up to the Pro class this season, of course. Quietly getting on with things.
You don't get much time to find your feet here. Your 2nd season, you're immediately a pro. As soon as you join SimRace South Africa, you get one opportunity to win AM class. If you don't do it, that's it, you're finished. Unless you sign up with a different name. But I think Jason will grab you on your Steam ID anyway. So yeah. One opportunity to shine in AM class, guys. Make it count.
The closer battle is between Jan Spammers and Dirk Brand. Pretty sure you can watch Dirk Brand on his YouTube channel right now.
Got a great golf livery though, hasn't he, Dirk Brand, on that Aston Martin? I think it looks awesome.
He does, yes. Yeah, just
golf-inspired livery, I would say.
I see Golf and the McLaren Formula 1 team have teamed up as well. It's a great partnership. Spammer's got a good run on Brand. Devon Lishner with the stop and go penalty, 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's got to be pit stop, isn't it? Because he only just went through. Seems to be if you make a mistake. Oh, Brand's just gone into the wall of Spammers up the outside of him. And he's made the pass as Jan Spammers. These walls are a real pain, aren't they, in Bathurst? You just seem to always be in the wrong place at the wrong time, unfortunately. It can feel that way sometimes through that mountain section. If you get out of your rhythm, or a bit of traffic makes you take a line that you're not so used to, you can come unstuck 3 or 4 corners later, I find. It's difficult, that one. Just unsettles your line and yeah, gets you eventually. Big difference between hot lapping and racing, obviously. So Hugo de Wit doesn't need to pit, obviously. Someone he's got very good fuel economy in that Audi. It's going to be a splash and dash for him.
So suddenly we have Mark van Rensburg in 3rd position, Lano Clue up into 4th, Oliphant's down to 5th.
Yeah, Oliphant already dropped back, I think. Yeah,
okay.
He dropped back during the pit stop phases. So I think he obviously repaired his car, maybe spent a bit longer in pits repairing as well. Yeah, and he lost out to Mark van Rensburg and Lionel Clue, and he, as we said, he would have been behind Craig Claassen as well. So he's gone backwards in the race, as Leslie Oliphant, our pole sitter. Let's see whether he can stay off of the walls and claw some time back in this 2nd phase. he was really pushing at the start, trying to keep Essa and Jadwat behind him. But yeah, he just kept running into the wall and just little light damage here and there. It's got to have an effect on your car eventually. Still cold here. 13 degrees. It literally just clicked over from 12 to 13 degrees. 10 past 8 in the morning at Mount Panorama.
Comes Moritz Krokkamp in 31st. And they want you to McLaren. Looking to get to the end, I think.
I was going to find Brent Alexander, but unfortunately he's disconnected because he had quite a special livery that we'll have to catch next time round. But it was to do with his non-profit 3D Print SA, which is a crowdsourced print farm that they're printing face shields for COVID-19 frontline workers, and they printed 20,000 between them so far, and looking to print 20,000 more. So it's a good initiative, and we encourage liveries to show local initiatives and companies and sponsors when we can. And yeah, and if you want to help out Brent Alexander, he's got a website, safightingcovid.com, safightingcovid.com. So more information on there. But certainly if you've got a 3D printer and you want to help out, yeah, he's organising that. It's a great initiative from him. But unfortunately, we can't see his car because he's left the server. So we'll have to look out for him in round 3. I can't imagine how long it'd take to print 20,000 face masks.
Yeah.
That's very, very well done by Brent Alexander. But back to racing, we've got Zaires at 16 seconds ahead. So he had 15. He's not really stretching too much, but I don't think he really needs to worry. He is, all effects purposes, Lewis Hamilton this evening, and he's just managing his pace. If his Pirellis can hold out, then yeah, he's destined for 30 minutes of just coasting here, is Zairesa. Actually, Jadwat's also found himself basically in the middle of nowhere, hasn't he? He's got 16 seconds in front of him and 18 seconds behind him. So they're running so close, Essa, Jadwat and Oliphant, for the first sort of quarter of this race, and now they're just cruising around, really, holding their positions. I'm not really sure they'll gain or lose anything, as long as they're just safe. So it leaves us free to go and hunt for fights elsewhere.
Yeah, and I found a fight. This is Isherwood and Pedersen over 10th position, just half a second in it. It's the Aston Martin versus Ferrari. And just the Pedersen developed nicely now. Oh, mistake there from Isherwood. Now he falls back, unfortunately for us. So Isherwood all to do again. Just a question here from Matthew Gee. Do you stay in your AM class for your first season or your first whole season? I compete in every race of the season.
I think it's how much they donate, isn't it? And how nice they are to you.
Yeah, let's say that.
Yeah. So if you're nice to Jason, you might manage to get an extra bit of AM class, but pretty much no, I believe.
Yeah, Matthew, it's a bit blurred. I think if you just do 1 or 2 rounds in your first season, I would consider you AM for the second season. Yeah, just depends on how much experience I think that you actually have. Is how that's worked out.
Yeah, because it has been known for a few guys to get pretty much punted into pro class immediately because their reputation surpasses them, if you like.
That as well, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't get a break with Jason. He knows how quick everyone is.
Henry Rees quite close to Chris Heineke. Let's go and see what that looks like.
I got Kieran Patterson back in the pits as well, so I'm not sure why he pitted from 11th place when he pitted already. It's a bit strange. Got both Pattersons in the pits. So I think Alan parked it there and left it, and Kieran is now there as well. Maybe he's just giving his dad a bit of a hurry up. No, he's out.
Okay. Not a good race for the Pattersons, unfortunately, this evening.
It wasn't going too badly for Kieran. He was starting to fight back, but I'm not quite sure why he was finding himself back in the pit. So we'll have to figure out something went wrong there. Obviously there for a reason. And you think fuel related, maybe. Still 26 minutes left of this race, though. I can't imagine he'd underfueled by that much. Now we've got an explanation from Brent Alexander as to what happened. Unfortunately, had a spin on the mountain section and clipped with Alan as well. So, yeah, I think this race has taken quite a few prisoners through that mountain section. These walls, they don't budge when you hit them, unfortunately. Only thing that stops is your car. So definitely we've dropped drivers this evening.
Unfortunately, when the track is blocked, it is just that it's blocked. There's nowhere sort of a way to go around.
Yeah.
It's either open or it's not.
You can just be super unlucky, can't you? Sometimes it's just totally not your fault, and yeah, just caused an issue. Did the 12-hour of Bathurst earlier in the year. Well, we didn't finish it. We were only a few hours in. Yeah, you come around the corner, there's just a car on the way. Yeah, not much you can do, unfortunately. But the first couple of laps were very, very clean, it has to be said. We've had a few races here in AC in the past, which has caused quite a roadblock as the first time we go through the mountain section. So overall, drivers are very clean. It's just if you drop it, it can, it can unfortunately affect a few other cars on circuit.
We had a great battle here in traffic. It's Oliphant chasing down Clue. And it's just half a second in it, and they're surrounded by cars.
He just went past Brown there, didn't he, Oliphant?
Let's have a look from my heli cam. Mistake there by Clue. Oliphant's got a good run on him now. Nowhere to pass, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can't really pass here, but it's where he's probably quickest. He's Oliphant in the 911. They've got Hugo de Witt in front, who's getting blue flags manically waved to him. But I mean, what do you do here? You can't exactly pull over, can you? You just got to carry on and then allow them on the Conrod straight, which I think was what Hugo's going to do, and that is the right thing to do. I expect Hugo de Witt to pull over here and let Clue and Oliphant past. That's exactly what he's done.
Here's the comparison between the Merc and Porsche Power now.
I think he's trying to let him pass, but yeah, he's lifting now, is the Hugo de Witt. And Lionel Clue sails past. Oliphant will want to make quick work of that as well. Very close to that Audi as he clips out from the Conrod straight.
And that has worked in Clue's favour as the Mercedes-Benz just gets away from the Porsche for the moment. And I think Clue's going to have his hands full keeping Oliphant behind him for the next 20 minutes if he can in fact do that. Oh, traffic nearly gets in the way for Clue. Clue dips the right rear onto the grass. It's allowed Oliphant to close up. Oliphant will now be in the slipstream. The Porsche just lacking on top end.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the beast, isn't it, with the Porsche, really? Which is why it struggles here in Spa.
Yep.
Just that top end speed.
And the skies above to inside the car now. We're inside the Olifant, hassling
Right
the
at the
rear end of
back
the
of-
Mercedes-Benz.
But the Mercedes-Benz is going to be mighty on the Conrod straight. So Oliphant had a brilliant exit, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough, even with slipstream. Just the Merc just pulled away. I'm going to put it out there that we're going to see a desperate lunge from Leslie Oliphant on Lionel Crew on the mountain section, because he's going to run out of options here, because he gets to the end of the Conrod straight and he's lost significantly, even though he had a mighty exit. So he's going to have to pass in an unorthodox position or wait for a mistake from Lionel Crew. Seen Lionel's not making too many mistakes at the moment. He was pretty quick in Okayama and GP.
Ooh. I think all that Oliphant can do is try and pressure Clue into mistake. So the Mercedes-Benz just moving away from the Porsche, even with the Porsche in the slipstream. Look at that, huge difference in pace.
Yes, if Oliphant gets up close here, he can sometimes make a lunge up the cutting here. Go up the inside. Oliphant's actually just looking on the outside, but here, if you dive it up the inside there, this is a place to pass, and that's exactly what Oliphant just tried, but he wasn't close enough. That is the place I think Oliphant's going to have to stick a pass. Like, there's nowhere else on this mountain section, unless you have massive cooperation from the driver you're trying to pass. Nowhere else can you really get away with it. But into the cutting, turn 4, that could be a possibility for Leslie Oliphant. See where he can get close next lap.
And Oliphant is absolutely on the ragged edge.
See, Oliphant's going to have to be a bit sneaky. If he does put his nose in and turn 4, you're relying on the other driver not turning into you. But if the car's there, then more often than not they don't. I've made passes there before, usually on traffic to be fair, not for position, but I think in Oliphant's current downforce trim and that 911 and the setup that he's chosen, that's going to be his only opportunity, because he's certainly not passing at the end of any straights. And I don't think he's passing through the quick S's or the dipper of the mountain without a major mistake.
Oh, Oliphant's looking. Oh, it's,
Look,
yeah, it's
won't get
forced Clinton error. Look at this. Can Oliphant use this? Clue goes defensive towards the left. Oliphant's trying to go on the outside. Surely not. Clue runs him wide. I would have done exactly the same thing.
Yeah, Clue's got this though in the Merc. I think Oliphant needs to be really, really tight up the back of him and get him into the cutting turn 4. So go through Griffin's Bend now, turn 2. He's having a look, but I don't think he'll be there. Clue's pretty mighty on the straight. But this is where you want to be tied up close. I think all that looking's actually lost Oliphant time here. This is where you can send up the inside, just here into turn 4. But he's a lot further back this lap, because he was looking to make the pass earlier in Griffin's Bend. I think he should be holding it for turn 4, but
Yeah, Daniel, it's quite interesting how Oliphant sort of looks up the inside from quite far back, realizing he's not going to go for a move. So
Yeah,
some mind trickery going on there, I think. Just sort of trying to unsettle Clue. Very interesting.
yeah, I mean, he might get the pass just from piling pressure on and waiting for a mistake. That is certainly possible. But if that isn't the case, then he needs to force it. My money's on turn 4. Lionel Clue just needs to he has to get a good exit here. out of Forest Elbow down the Conrod Straight, because it doesn't matter what slipstream doesn't make an effect here, because Clue just breaks away from it. AMG power down the Conrod Straight is next
Mega.
level.
Wow.
Got to be patient. Still 17 minutes in this race. No point trying to force it, Les the Elephant. You keep the pressure on. He will have an opportunity at some point. Clue will have a bad exit somewhere. If he's going to pass on outright speed, we'll just keep an eye again now as he goes up Mountain Straight. Those first few corners of the mountain section. Not as close as he was last lap. Clue made an error, didn't he, going out of Murray's corner last time. Oliphant staying behind this time round, not quite as close. Yeah, really good second corner, Griffin's
No mistake there from Clue, but understeer.
Here we go. Can he keep on the inside here? Les the Elephant wants to keep it on the inside into the cutting.
Let's go
He's
for
having
it.
a look. He's having a look. He's tipped
contact
the
again.
Final Clue. He's
Two
contact
knocks.
there.
Yeah.
That is where he wants to go. He just needs to be closer. Lionel Clue's a bit aware of it though, because he's not leaving him much room whatsoever. But that is the passing point for Les the Elephant. He had his nose there for sure, didn't he?
He did, yeah. From the rear end of the Mercedes-Benz, not too badly damaged. Would have a hard knock that second shunt.
I think that's given Les the Elephant the data that he needs to see that that is a possibility for a pass there though. Whereas the rest of the lap is, I just can't see it without an error. It's not going to happen. That's the place where he can pass on his own merit. But yeah, he's lost out a bit now from that exchange. He's going to have to regroup, finds himself 9/10 back.
Oh, mistake for Oliphant! Oh, he's turned it around! Ah, too much curb. Beats the car on the curb.
Try and clear it back. That's unfortunate. We're looking forward to a bit of an epic battle there, and it's just a bit anticlimactic, unfortunately. Car went past, but I think it was just a back marker, wasn't it? Yeah, Hugo de Witt, back marker went past. So he hasn't lost any positions, but he's lost 10 seconds. So that could be the end of the battle between Lionel Clue and Les the Elephant. That's a bit of a shame for us as spectators. Craig Clarkson's still quite a ways back from Oliphant, so Oliphant's was finding himself now in the middle of nowhere.
Dirk Brand's in a good battle there with Barry Mayer over 19th. So from one battle, we go to the next. Dirk Brand trying to find his way past. Oh, he's clipped Mayer.
Oh,
Mayer
and
into
they
the
had,
wall. Yeah,
a gear into the back of Brand as well.
That's ugly.
Quite a few cars there. Very busy part of the track. This is my word.
Cars everywhere.
Waiting for Brand to pass, I believe. He has done. Yeah, very, very busy part of the track. This is back markers and fighting for position. Brand just hit the wall again, so I think he may be suffering a bit of damage. Got Sass chat mentioning that this track might be one on the straights. It sort of is, but you've got to get through the mountain section, doesn't it? It can be lost very easily on the mountain section, that's for sure. Two ways of setting your car up here. Downforce, you can claw so much time in the mountain section, and all right, you lose it on the straight. Spa's a little bit like that as well, whether you go low aero or high aero. Two different ways of getting lap time. Certainly in the race trim, you're happy when you've got low aero because it's easy to keep guys behind in the twisty stuff and pull away on the straights. But qualifying, maybe not so much.
This is Henry Roux versus it's LaRue as well. So 2 Roux battling it out for 14th position.
I assume LaRue and Roux are slightly different, but yeah, close enough. They're close enough on track as well.
Just 3/10 in it.
Good skin sim racing crew Audi there. Got Lawrence Stern into the pits as well. So 10 minutes remaining, he's come into the pits. The car's not looking too great, so maybe he's repairing damage in 17th place. Quite a few cars missing from the servo. Mark Henbury is also not showing up, so we've had quite a few retirements. Can't unfortunately see the retirements nice and easy at the bottom of the sheet to tell you what they are. But yeah, Mark Henbury is currently not on the server.
So race leader is Essa, just over 10 minutes remaining. Lap 38, leading by just under 18 seconds ahead of Bashir Jadwat.
Mark Henbury's actually in chat. He said he had disconnect on 4 laps in, so that's unfortunate. It's just it's a real pain that we can't rejoin after disconnects. It's just the way that ACC is. It causes a massive stutter for other drivers. To be quite honest, though, if you've disconnected from a race and by the time you've reconnected, you've already lost out, haven't you? So I guess, but yeah, hopefully an update might fix that shortly. And we'll be able to retake the lock off the server. In the meantime, please try and not disconnect after qualifying is finished, or you won't get back in.
Lano Cleon for a strong result this evening. 4th position after Oliphant's mistake. Who allowed him to get away from Oliphant, of course. He was already in 4th position by the time that happened. But yeah, great fights between those two while it lasted there, Daniel.
Yeah, it was. We've had a lot of good fights with Leslie Oliphant. He's had a lot of stream time this evening, hasn't he? He's been fighting throughout this race. I think we've got 31 runners left in the race. We've got Alan Patton still in the pits, but he's just parked there. So Brendan DeRay's our last runner in 31st position, 31st position, sorry. I'm not sure how many we started with, though, to be fair. Do you know how many were on the list this evening to race?
I think it was 45, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so we've had 15 retirements. So, yeah, quite a lot of retirements, as you'd expect at Mount Panorama. So,
we can get 50 on the server. And I think we started with 45, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So down to 31 at the moment, with 8 minutes left. Track temperatures will remain cold throughout, 14 degrees. The 14 degrees air temperature. Track temperatures crept up to 15, 9:24 in the morning at Mount Panorama. So just under 8 minutes to go, and Yeah, Zyrus, masterclass again. 16 seconds. He come out from the pit stops 15 seconds. He's just managed the pace, hasn't he? No real need. His best lap time was a 2 minutes 0.9, and his last was a 2:02. So certainly he isn't going flat out. He is just doing all he needs to do, knowing there's only 7 minutes remaining. Pretty much flawless race. Didn't have it straight easy though. He wasn't in pole position. He lost his pole position and had to fight his way past Leslie Oliphant. It wasn't an easy pass either. Took quite a good chunk of time to find his way through safely. But that's what makes a good racer, isn't it? That be patient, not force it. We see it so often, especially in a 90-minute race. Guys get a little bit impatient, try and force it. But Esser was very, very patient, waiting until his car hit the window, and then had an easy drag down the Conrad Straight to take first place. And ever since then, he's just been gone. He's hooked it up.
Yeah, it was so fantastic to see the three cars in the front so close together for so long. That was very impressive to watch. And hopefully we can see more of that as the season progresses, with maybe 2 more cars like that together up front.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, bound to. So our next round is Nürburgring.
Yeah.
You know all about the Nürburgring.
I do.
We got a resident expert in commentary from Nürburgring. So I'll sit back and then just listen to the stories. So that's round 3 at the end of the month, 31st of August.
Yeah. Wouldn't quite say expert, but yes, I've been there a couple of times. It's that.
That's a couple of times more than me, Jason. So you're therefore expert.
I know the building where the sim race expo is quite well. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Fortunately, there is no sim racing expo this year, so they're looking at doing sort of a virtual online sort of scene. But as for a physical event, it's not happening, unfortunately. But I suppose it's understandable in the current circumstances.
When sim racing has never been so popular as it is now, there is no sim race expo. I mean, it's had an absolute boom from current predicament, human malware, we call it. But as a result, you don't get no expo. Just when all the manufacturers are probably absolutely desperate to expose themselves and their lovely gadgets to everyone. So Leslie Oliphant, I'm looking, did never really recover because he's 20 seconds back from Lionel Clue. So he's unfortunately, our pole sitter has just fallen backwards this evening. A couple of errors, has to be said. Very, very quick in spells. But down in 5th position. Yeah, Mark van Rensburg's been great in race pace, and he had a good race last time out in the Bentley as well at Bathurst. But he's filling up the podium spot in 3rd place in the Lamborghini this time round instead of the big Bentley. But it is good in race trim, and I think he had a pretty good Division 2 race as well, didn't he, in Okayama? I hasten to say that I think he was probably a little bit out of his division, Division 2. But yeah, that's I heard he did very well there. It spurred him on this evening, maybe back in GT3 car.
I did not do very well. I crashed into the wall while I was checking my pit settings.
Oh, that's
so I was highly annoyed after sort of challenging for 4th position.
Okayama, you don't get much time to check your pit setting. Exactly.
I found that out. Like, wasn't that a straight? No. Wow.
I like turn everything off these days. Don't have anything on my screen in AC anymore because, yeah, it's just a distraction. Yes, we've got Nordis Fick and Duels now and Kieran Patterson all in a bit of a train in 11th position. Probably one of the closest battles on track, I think, here. Batmark is involved as well with Sparks and McGear behind. But Patterson just closing down on Nordis Fick. It's a new name for me. It's a new sign-up?
Yes. Fresh sign-up there is Nordis Fick.
Having a very good race in 11th place in Division 1, so very well done to him.
Yeah,
got a bit of a battered Aston Martin though, and he's got a Ferrari for company. He's going up the inside into Hell Corner. Not usual place to pass here, but I think Fick had a bad exit out of Murray's Bend, so Patterson's got the move made already as they go up the mountain straight, and the Ferrari is strong up the straight, we've seen. He's already starting to pull away from Fick.
Leaders on final lap.
Fick, though, is having a look up the inside. Patterson covers the inside line as they go up the mountain section. As you can dive up turn 4, you're going to have to wait in line, I'm afraid. It's too far back to have a move there, so looks like Kieran Patterson's got that move cemented in, trying to have a clean mountain section, pull away a bit on the Conrod straight. So we've got Zayaressa on just start in the mountain section, 43 seconds to go. Is it one lap after 0? I always ask this question and I completely forget every time. Does the clock strike 0 and then an additional lap, or will this be the final lap of the race?
I think this will be the final lap, but let's see what happens.
Yeah, I've answered and asked and answered this question many times. Got Peter Geldnes that is parked under the dipper there. 27th spot, and I think he may have... No, he's rejoined. But yeah, very, very damaged Audi has Peter Geldnes. So the clock strikes 0, 90 minutes, and Zayaressa is coming down the Conrod Straight, passing Jan Spammers. Masterclass from Esser. Didn't have it all his way. He lost his pole position that he was holding for a good set of qualifying, and lost it to Leslie Oliphant. It took a long time to get past Leslie Oliphant, but he was patient and made a great pass down Conrod Straight.
The leader has finished the race.
And yeah, he comes through to take the win here in round 2, Bathurst. Very, very well done to Zayaressa. Bashir Jadwa, class act as always, second position in the 911. Looks pretty chuffed for that.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Not strong for the Porsche, so I don't think he'll be that upset with the second position with the Porsche.
I think somebody who will be very happy this evening is Mark van Rensburg as well. What a drive.
Yeah, brilliant drive. Didn't really see much of him, really, did we? He was just good in the race, just consistent in the race.
Kept out of trouble.
Out of trouble, looks very, very clean, his Lambo, and he comes through to finish the podium places.
And I think the same thing can be said for this man, Lionel Clue. Fantastic drive.
Yeah, he had a bit more battling, that's for sure. He had Leslie Oliphant for a while. But yeah, great showing again from Lionel Clue. Good to see him here, doing well in GT3 as well as GP.
Oh.
I think Leslie Oliphant will be the race that could have been, won't it? Because he had the pace, but just got a little bit too happy with the walls. So ended up going backwards and finished in 5th position. Could have been a lot worse, I think. As Craig Clarson's very, very close. He follows him through in 6th.
There's Nick Hodgson. We haven't really seen much of Nick this evening.
We didn't see much, and every time I went there, it was a pristine Bentley. But
he's
now
very
he's got the bonnet
slow,
popped
isn't he?
on it. So yeah, he's had damage in the last lap, hasn't he?
He's just gonna make it.
Is he dropped back behind Patterson, who's finished, or is a lap down Patterson?
I think Patterson's a lap down, yeah.
A lap down, yeah.
Hodgson gets
Happy to
7th. And here comes Marcus Stain to get 8th.
So Marcus Stain could have had so much better if he didn't. Something went wrong with his pit stops. He went through the pit lane and then went through it again with basically no fuel and still gets 8th position. So definitely a mistake's cost Marcus Stain. Probably podium places we're talking here. He was right up there.
And I think Isherwood's also in trouble. He's very slow. Is he plus 1 lap? Okay, he's done. Here's the rain, Daniel. Oh, wrong session.
Every time. Every time. That's it. I'm retiring. I've had enough.
Daniel's on mute.
God, lightning as well. I mean, that's full on rain.
Come
Every
on.
time, that's it. I'm doing the server settings next time, guys.
All right, well, it's a fantastic race. Big congratulations to Zahir Esser and the Odin team, run by Ryan Hill. Should be ecstatic about the result. And of course, great result there for Bashir Jadwar in 2nd, and Mark van Rensburg to complete the podium. And yeah, it's a wrap, I think, here at Mount Panorama. Big thanks to you, Daniel, and a big thanks to all our viewers. Thank you very much. And yeah, I think the next race is at the Nürburgring. Next week is the next round of the GP series, if I'm not mistaken. And the week after that is the TC series, another GP round, and then back to GT. And of course, if you're watching this and you want to sign up, you're very welcome to visit our website at simracesa.co.za. You'll find the sign-up form there that you fill out. That'll come through to me via email, and I'll respond to you as soon as possible. I think we got 3 or 4 sign-ups from last evening that I need to get done, so the guys can race on Wednesday evening. Then this Wednesday evening is the Division 2 and 3 races for this round, and we've got 30 cars each signed up for that racing on Wednesday evening. So yeah, still plenty of space. We can do another 20 cars in each division to make it 50-50. So yeah, it'd be nice if we get there, but let's see how we go. So yeah, so from me, Jason Holden-Jones and Daniel Haynes, thank you very much, and all the best until the next stream. Thanks, guys.